Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. I hope that you had an awesome weekend. And only 2 more weeks, guys. Hang in there. All right, let's get started. So, the last couple of weeks, there are a couple of lessons. I'm going to kind of be um, all over the map. There are really 4 lessons that I need to get in before the end of the year. Okay, this being one of those. So, this doesn't really have anything to do with the uh, geometry lessons we've done in the last couple. I'm just kind of trying to get you the bare essentials of the important lessons that you need moving into algebra for next year. Okay, so we're going to start today. These are what we call scatter plots. Okay, many of you may not have ever heard of this before. Okay, this is May 4th. Okay, so scatter plots, basically what it is a diagram or display, if you'd rather say that, a display using coordinates to show values. Actually, I should say to show the relationship for a set of values. Okay, and it's basically a way of displaying data. Okay, is what it really means. Okay, now there are what we're going to be finding is what's called a correlation. Okay, and the correlationship is basically the relationship formed by the data. Now, this all sounds tricky and very intense, detailed, whatever you want to say. It's not. This is actually pretty simple stuff, guys. Okay, a relationship formed by displaying data. Okay, now every problem that you do is going to form a correlation. Okay, the 3 correlations that it could possibly be. The first one is a positive correlation. Okay, and that's basically your plot is kind of pointing upwards. Okay, you can have a negative correlation. Okay, and that's where the majority of your dots are going in a downward cycle. Okay, and then the last one is none or no correlation. Okay, and that's when your dots are basically all over the place, and there's not really a specific um, relationship formed by that correlation. Okay, now the other thing that you're going to have with these correlations, I'm going to erase this top part. Okay, every correlation is kind of like when you identified triangles. Remember how you had several things that you had to identify with a triangle. You had to identify not only its angles, but it's also its sides. Okay, every scatter plot has a correlation, but it also has a classification of that correlation. Each correlation is either going to be linear or non-linear. Okay, now what does that mean? If let's say I have a positive correlation, okay, and most of these plots that I point, if I was to kind of take an arrow and draw it right up through the middle like this, it's kind of a straight line, okay? That would be a positive linear correlation, okay? Now, let's say that the dots that I had were something different. Let's say that I had dots like this on the display. Okay, yes, it's going down, but it kind of curves like this. Okay, this would be what we call a negative correlation, and it's non-linear. Now, if you ever have a correlation that is none, it's not going to be linear or non-linear. It's just going to be no correlation or none. Okay, all right, let's take a look at some examples. Sounds complicated, sounds tricky. It's not, I promise. All right, let's take a look at some examples. I've got 3 examples that I want us to do. Okay. All right. So this first one, okay, every value that you have is going to have an x value and a y value. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to plot all 10 in the three examples, and then on your worksheet you're going to have 10 points that you're going to plot. Okay. And it has an x value and it has a y value. If you remember, x is going to be going this way, and technically could go the other way, but all of these are going to be in quadrant 1, so they're all positive. So you're going to be going right, and then you're going to be going up to a certain point, all of these. Okay. So let's go ahead and plot these points first. Our first one is at 1,000 when x is 1,000. So we're going to go over 1,000. Well, this is 2, so this is 1,000. And then up to 120.3. Now, you're not going to be able to graph exactly 120.3, but we can go to about what we think 120.3 is. So we're going to go over 1,000 and up to, I'm going to say, right in this area. Okay. All right. And then 2,000 and then up 31.9. So probably right in here. Over 2,000 up 32.3. So then we have another one that's like right on top of that. Okay. And then we have over 2,000 and up 41. So up here and then up to 41. And then we have over 2,000 and up to 55.8. So another one probably right in here. Okay. And then we go over to 4,000 and then up to 7.4. So over to 4,000, up to 7.4. I'm not sure, probably right in there. And up to 8.1 off of 4,000, so probably like right there. And then over to 6,000 and up 1.5, so it's going to be like right here. And over to 7,000 and up 1.1, so it might be like right here. And then all the way over to 10,000 and up to 0.1, so it might be like right there. Okay, so we have plotted all of our points. Okay, now let's take if we were to take an arrow and kind of go through it. First of all, these form a little bit, they kind of form a downward cycle. It's very obvious we can see that they're going downward, right? So this, we first know, is going to be a negative correlation. Okay, remember, every answer has 2 parts unless it's no correlations. Okay, so this is the first part, it's negative. And then the second part, we're going to determine whether it's linear or nonlinear. Well, if we kind of go through this, it swoops down and then it kind of curves, doesn't it? Okay, so this would be a negative non-linear correlation. Okay, did everybody see how we were able to get that in? Okay, let's move on to the second example. Okay, on this one, let's go ahead and do our graph first. Okay, we'll do this one in blue. All right, so over, remember, x is going to be over, y is up, over, over, and up. Okay, over 200, up 80. Well, looks like I'm over 200, and so my first point should be about right there. Okay, over 300, up 20. Okay, right there. Over 300, up 60. Right there. Over 400, up 70. Over 500, up 100, so all the way up here. Over 600, up 20. Over 600, up 90. Over 800, up 20. Over 800, up 60. And last is over 800, up 70. Okay, so if we look at these plots that we pointed here, there is not really any correlation. There's not a positive or a negative. There's not really a pattern formed here. So on this one, all we're going to say is no correlation. Okay, or we could just say none. And remember, if there is no correlation, or if you have an answer of none, there's not going to be a linear or nonlinear. Okay, does that make sense for that one? All right, let's look at one more example here. All right, let's graph these points real quick. Okay, remember, over, up, over, up, over, up. Okay, so over 20, up 2. So we're here. Over 20, up 2 again. We're there again. Over 30, up 4. Over 40, up 3, over 60 up 4, over 60 up 5, over 70 up 5, over 80 up 7, over 90 up 6, and again over 90 up 6. Again, now, I can tell by looking at this, the relationship is going upwards, isn't it? So the first thing is I know that this is a positive correlation. Now I'm going to identify what it looks like. If I was to draw an arrow through the pattern, well, it pretty much goes straight up, doesn't it? It doesn't curve, okay, like a nonlinear would. So this would be a positive linear correlation, okay? I hope that all makes sense, guys. If you need to go watch this again, please feel free to do so. I'll have your worksheets posted for you tomorrow. God bless you. I hope you have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.